Men have it way easier with dating. Let me explain why. Men pick who they pursue versus women pick through who pursued. Big difference. Society says that the man pursues the woman. This means that men get to go through an incredibly healthy exercise of looking at all their options, deciding what they want, and then spending their time pursuing that. Versus women are taught to sit back, wait to be pursued, and then from there you decide what you do and do not want from potential suitors coming up to you. This is way more time intensive, and let me paint a picture of why. A man who comes up to you and you decide there's some things you like, some things you don't know about, you go ahead and give him a chance. After getting to know him for 2 weeks, you decide it's not right for you. That means you just spent 2 weeks on somebody that you may or may not have picked out of a crowd to begin with. And a lot of us women don't even realize that this is happening because this is just the way things are. So it's incredibly distracting to figure out what you want when you're in the process of this kind of dating.
What women mean when they say dating is easier for us men than it is for women, she's referring to the guys who are in the top 20%, not the guys who are in the bottom 80%, who most women view as average to below average in looks. They're like, I don't really like him like that. He's not really appealing, because most women have crazy, unrealistic expectations. And I'm quite sure that female is really talking about a guy who's in the top 20%, guys who she thinks she's entitled to and she really wants. Those guys have the pick of the litter. So of course, dating's got to be really easy for them. Now I'll say this, when it comes to women, they do have to sit back and basically take what comes to them. But the thing about that is, you women don't want to put yourself out there. You don't want to actually go say, hey, how's it going? You don't want to approach a guy. You don't want to comment on his shoes. The only really real choosing signal you want to give a guy is you want to look at him for 2 seconds and then go away. And you expect him to pick up on that signal and say, oh, okay, I'm go after you. Now, the small percentage of guys would understand choosing signals and go after that. But the vast majority of men will really look at you and keep it moving. And a lot of those women will say, well, he rejected me. It's crazy because, ladies, you just don't understand what men have to go through when it comes to dating, relationships, and marriage. And I don't expect you to. But what you do have to realize is you have it extremely easy. All you basically have to do is sit back. If you don't want to do online dating, all you have to do is put on something nice. Go to a bar, go to a club, and you can just sit there and soak up all the options. Matter of fact, go to your local club, because there's always women who just get up and put some on nice and they just go out, get free drinks, and reject all types of men, reject dozens of men every single weekend. So ladies, if you want to say dating is easier for us men, it's not. It's much, much harder, much more grueling. It's all type of competition because every man is trying to get some girl. And it's up to the female to say, okay, I'll choose that guy. Now, as far as relationships and commitment, yes, it's easy on that end. But when it comes to sex and just choosing individuals, it's much easier for women. Heck, you can choose females or males. So men, if you're a heterosexual straight male, you're gonna choose a female. And a lot of guys, believe it or not, they just accept women who are 2 to 3 notches below them. Because after so long, you're approaching and you're shooting your shot, you say, man, I'm not getting anywhere. So you usually, most guys, will take something that's like, well, she's tolerable, she can give me good sex. Women, you have way more expectations and requirements. So you don't just want a guy who's like on your level. You want a guy who's just up there and you're like, wow, right? So dating is much harder. It's just how it is. And it's not here to complain, because us men, we do have to, for the most part, approach and shoot our shot. I've approached hundreds of women in my life and I got rejected by tons of women, but I did have some success with some. Is it a good trade-off? Depends, right? How you look at it. But us men, we have to go out there, make things happen. We have to put our ego on the line, which most guys don't want to do. And most guys don't want to really get out there and talk to women and be social and everything like that, because being rejected, you basically have to become numb to it. I become numb to rejection. So if a woman rejects me, if I get rejected by 5 women in one day, Okay, it's like nothing to me. But most guys don't have that intestinal fortitude, that inner strength to just keep moving. Most guys, they say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get out there and go approach a woman today. He approaches one woman, she rejects him. He approaches one more. Then after that, he just shuts it down for a whole 2-3 years. He say, you know what? Forget this. I ain't about that life. So when it comes to women actually making things happen in the dating game, you don't do anything. As a matter of fact, even if the guy happens to go up to you, you find him attractive, you guys exchange numbers, you guys go on a date, you can easily say, I don't really like him like that. And you can just ghost him. That's what men have to go through. We have to go out of our way, shooting our shot. And a lot of the times, women will just give you their number. You say, oh man, that was cool. I did it. You go to text her a few hours or the next day, and she leaves your text message on read. And you're like, wow. So you have the intestinal fortitude to finally get out there. You have a good conversation with a woman. You think everything went well. You exchange numbers, contact information, and then you don't hear from her. How nerve-wracking is that? Because I've been through that so many times. And guess what? You women don't have to go through that. You can just pick, choose, or refuse. Okay, I'll talk to him. I'll just ghost him. That's what men have to go through. Most men, not all, but most, we pretty much take what we can get. We're like, okay, she ain't all that bad. We kind of turn our head. She's cool. She's not crazy. She gives me good sex. So most men will just settle for that. Women, you're just like, okay, he has to make me laugh. He has to be fun. He has to be extremely attractive. He has to be sought out by other women. He has to have this. He has to have that. He has to have that. And women don't mind just rejecting you. They're just savage with it. I've had women, as messed up as this is, go up to them, approach them. The conversation's going good. We're vibing well. I give them my phone. They put their number in there. They even save the number as their first and last name. This is how savage a lot of women do. They save it, first and last name. Okay, cool. I go about my business. I text them a few hours later or the next day. Don't respond back. And I'm like, why would she give me her number and save her first and last name? That's how savage it is when it comes to approaching and the dating game and mating when it comes to men. It is cutthroat. Women could care less about you. They could care less about your feelings. They could care less about your ego. But you ladies want to preserve your ego. You want to complain and say, well, I'm not going to shoot my shot. That's beneath me. This is what men have to go through. We have to go through rejection after rejection after rejection, then keep getting rejected. And you say, and just keep getting rejected until you finally get that one chick and boom. But guess what? You have to go through a lot of rejections, a whole bunch of rejections, a whole bunch of stand-ups, women ghosting you, flaking on you. Heck, some women just get your number just to lead you on, just to use you as a text buddy, just to use you for attention. That's what men have to go through. Yes, we're the ones that go out there and hunt and shoot our shot, but we're not going to go out there and just chase you down and do all these different things. So when women say men have it easier, they're talking about a certain select few of men. Remember that. They're not talking about every single man, the general population of men who are out there walking around, because she would never want those type of guys to approach her. She only has a certain type of dude in mind. And that dude might be somebody who's an actor, who looks like this certain guy in a movie. That's how women are. They have the certain guy that they want for the most part. And then if that type of guy doesn't approach them, they feel some type of way. They feel kind of bad. They're like, ugh. Then they get up on there making TikToks like that female because that certain type of guy doesn't want to approach them or then pick up on their signals. So they're like, well, men have it so much easier. Well, ladies, if you actually put yourself out there and stop being so lazy and sitting back, hoping that Prince Charming just pops out of the air and gives you the life that you want and courts you and gives you the world, maybe dating, I know dating would be easier for you ladies. Because I'm going to be honest, I talk to a lot of guys, I coach a lot of guys, and the approach anxiety is real. It is real when it comes to most men. They see a woman they like and they start to breathe and a lot of guys go blank. They don't know what to say, so they just let it go. So ladies, why don't you just go up to a guy and say, hi, my name is, and you extend your hand. I thought you were attractive. I thought you were cute. Hey, here's my number. You don't even have to say anything. That guy would be like, oh man, Is it real? And guess what? You think he's gonna leave your text messages on red? No, he's not. You think he's gonna flake on you? No, he's not. He's gonna be excited and enthused that, man, I can't believe it. That was cool. He's gonna actually appreciate something that you women don't. Appreciate the guy's approach. He's gonna appreciate your approach because you actually made an effort. And most of you women, the key to that video is you don't want to make an effort. You want to sit back, you want to do nothing, and you want to complain while men put themselves out there and you just wait on Prince Charming. And you think that, well, like she said, we wasted a lot of time within that 2 weeks. So that guy didn't waste his time. He didn't waste his ego. He didn't waste his backbone and dignity to approach you and you hang out with him and you think, he's not my type. Now that same guy has to get back out there and do it again. And he has to do it again. And he has to do it again and again and again and again and again and again his entire life, because that's what a man does. Ladies, I'm not telling you to have some sort of sympathy and understand us, man, but this is what men have to go through. You need to appreciate that men actually approach you. Now, I'm not saying you should go out with every guy and say, wow, he's and take him up on this offer, but understand that men have it much harder when it comes to dating and relationships than you ladies do.